Hey everyone, and welcome to the final part of our Kingdom Hearts 3 review discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bentner, and I'm joined today by Grant Smith of Team 4-Star to finish talking about our experience with the game and what we're looking forward to as the series continues. So, let's get back to it. But, I liked how you had these little send-offs for each character. You got a little bit more story for them, and of course, the big battle with Master Xehanort. And it didn't even occur to me, like, when I went over to that place that this was the final battle, because there was never a point where it was like, if you go beyond this, you can't do anything else.
This is the end.
Yeah, like in Kingdom Hearts 2. So I was expecting that, because I was like, I did want to do a little bit of cleanup and stuff like that. I was like, nope, you're in the final battle. Oh.
You did it. Real quick, I do want to give a shout
sure.
out, before I forget, the music in this section of the game is phenomenal. All of the boss themes for all of, like, the big character resolution boss fights are spectacular. And would highly recommend anyone who, like a lot of people, probably just played through those sections and like did these cool fights and was already enamored with the things on screen and what you were doing, to do yourself a favor and go and listen to those soundtrack things, because if you are familiar with the character themes involved, they make them play together so well. It's incredible from a musical standpoint.
The music is phenomenal throughout the game. Just every tune,
this whole game soundtrack is spectacular for sure. But just those parts in particular, as someone who has loved these themes for a decade or more at this point, it was really nice to hear them done, not only with like a full orchestra and like full instrumentation, but just hearing them done in a new way, typically against another theme I'm also familiar with, and just hearing them intertwined is like this really cool musical cathartic moment that just got me all excited for that whole fight.
Shimamura is half the reason these payoffs work so well.
Oh my god. Shimamura, if somehow you hear this, I am constantly in awe at your music.
Yeah, seriously, she just keeps topping herself. It's incredible. I remember when Kingdom Hearts first came out, I was like, oh, it's not Uematsu, who's Shimamura, whatever.
Shimamura?
I haven't heard of this. Not having played Super Mario RPG or any of the other countless games that she did amazing music for.
Street Fighter 2!
Yeah, exactly. I haven't heard of that game. Never leave me in Shimamura, please.
Yeah. No, Shimamura can do all Kingdom Hearts for the rest of eternity now. It'll be fine. That final fight, the fight with the three Xehanorts might actually be my favorite fight in this whole game, because I think that they make those three fight really well, not only like as individuals, but if you pay attention to how they work as a team, it's actually really cool how they will kind of dip in and out for each other, and it's just a really cool cinematic, but you are never not in control fight, and it seems chaotic, but is also very easy to follow what's going on, and I think it works on so many levels, and is just really, really cool.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I was trying to focus on one to take them out one at a time, and they just kept swapping with each other. It's like, oh man, keeping up with them is rough, and Xemnas was the hardest one for me to take down.
For me, it was young Xehanort. He's got like some weird, like, his range was ridiculous, and it was just driving me crazy.
Oh man, it was so good to fight those three, and just like raising the stakes and whatnot. And although, real quick before we get to Master Xehanort, have you experienced the Ultimate Keyblade yet?
Yes, I have.
Holy crap, this thing is amazing.
Goodness, what a weapon.
I have never felt so powerful with an Ultimate Keyblade before. This thing destroys stuff.
And the transformation, the form drive it has is so good.
It's like just this thin sword, and you can summon other swords, and I took on the super boss.
If you haven't seen it, it's his Ultima transformation, or ultimate form from Kingdom Hearts 2, but just kind of reworked as a transformation in this, the ultimate drive form or whatever it was. And just has a lot of similar moves with that, plus like all the other stuff with like the giant Keyblade stuff from other games. It's just nuts.
He's basically cutting reality with each swipe. It's insane.
It's great.
I love it so much. Made me wish I had it, but makes the Keyblade seem like a chump.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I think I found the ultimate weapon,
yeah,
man.
Exactly.
If you want something that's going to start a war, I've got it.
Yeah, I gotcha. You're done. So, but the fight with Master Xehanort was really interesting, especially going around, like, finding out like that the last world was Scala Ad Kalam, I think, or Kalam, or how it's pronounced.
Yes, Scala Ad
Kylum.
Dot, dot, dot.
Yeah.
Part of the name I never know how to pronounce.
Yeah, we're getting into Latin again, so fun stuff.
Yeah. So much for it being the final world, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. That was my thoughts. I was like, oh, wow, they're getting quite literal with this when I when I saw that. But yeah, going back to that place, fighting there, and just the fight just absolutely destroying that world.
Yeah, like it's so cool. But you also feel like you are ruining this picturesque city with your chaos.
It is a hellscape by the end of this fight, and it's just... I like how Donald and Goofy are there, too. That was really cool.
That is very good. I won't lie. Before this game came out, I would have put money down on the last fight is going to be Sora, and your backup is Riku and Kairi, and it's going to be the Destiny Island 3. Like, I was so ready for that to be the final trio going into the last fight. But it being Sora, Donald, and Goofy is fitting and is how it should be, the more I think about it, because they deserve a spot in that last fight, and there's no way they're getting it without hanging out with Sora.
Yeah, exactly. They were doing some really crazy stuff. Also, Kairi getting kidnapped, again, she gets done a little dirty in this game, I'll be honest.
She does, but they also essentially kill her on screen, which I was not expecting at all. Like, that actually caught me off guard.
It's just like...
Immediately.
Sora just asking, why her?
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
That's a loaded question, because, like, not only is it just, you know, like, the general just grieving why her, but that almost also says, like, from Sora's perspective, you could have iced any of these other fools, and it would have been fine. But it had to be her?
Seriously. Take Terra again. You had him for how long? I don't give a crap about him.
We all almost forgot about Xion as far as yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go.
Exactly. I just finally shared the Paopu fruit with her. You son of a gun.
Serious. I can't believe I forgot to talk about that. I kind of fanboyed out at that moment.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I love to play the cynical, I'm too good for this lovey-dovey stuff, but man, I'm not much of a shipper, but Kairi and Sora are definitely an OTP in my mind, and them finally not only actually acknowledging like their feelings, but it kind of looking like the series is going to essentially accept that and not going to be this weird like haha, they're just going to be this playfully, clearly they're into each other like duo, but never are they going to actually say or act on it. Them seeming like they're going forward with no, they both know how they feel with each other. Was really satisfying to me, because I feel like, especially in anime and JRPGs in particular, I feel like that's usually something they don't want to touch in a shonen-y fun adventure story. They usually kind of leave that stuff to the side.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's actually getting its due.
I think they finally reached the age, like, you know, the people who grew up with this are how old at this point. They want to see this. I think we were allowed to pay this off finally.
Yeah.
And do something with that. But also just, you know, crush you, because it was shocking to just see, you know, Master Xehanort hold her up, slash her across the back, and she is done.
Yeah, she just disappears, which is Kingdom Hearts for died.
Yep. So, you know, you got that pure rage and everything going on, like Sora's ready for blood. It's crazy.
Well, it's one of those things where, and they don't really touch on it, but I was looking forward to that being a reason for them to explore, like, what happens when Sora, let's just say, gives into darkness. Because if there was ever a time where he would be consumed with hatred, that seems like the spot it would have happened.
Absolutely. And yeah. So no wonder he destroys the city trying to take out Master Xehanort.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable. That's fine.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's cool. There's no bystanders. We've seen NPCs in other cities. There's nobody there. We're good.
But we do this really big, cool fight with Master Xehanort, and then for some reason they put you underwater in part of it, and I really didn't like that they did that. But then they let you get back out of the water and fight the rest of the way. And that fight goes down, and it's just a bunch of crazy, like, he's turning the world upside down, and geometry and geography are all fighting against you. You know, a classic final boss fight in an RPG.
Yeah, and it felt good. I had this Starlight equipped, so I'm trying to build up to the massive combos with that. It's actually pretty difficult to do, and I gotta say, one of the things I didn't mention, Donald is so useful in this game.
Yes, he is.
Holy crap, he became my favorite.
We can stop with the jokes about Donald not helping anyone, because man, cleaned it up this game.
Oh yeah, healing on point. He the team ups with him that just could clear up enemies. The finishers with him that just sent fire or lightning or whatever around you. Like he was useful at all times.
Yeah, Donald definitely stepped up in KH3 for sure. As did Goofy. Like he's also got a bunch of really cool and useful finishers as well.
Yeah, he does. So
like, I loved his Bombardier.
They did a really good job making those two useful this time around, and I love this final fight. Like it just kept going, and I'm like, man, there's so many forms here, but he doesn't really change how he looks, and it's just. I can never tell because I'm so used to these big bombastic bosses, and he never gets huge. He just takes that goat form,
which looks kind of scary if I'm being honest. Like it's a really creepy design that I really liked.
Absolutely, it was so good, so satisfying, and then to finally land that blow, it all ends, and everybody else shows up and ready to close Kingdom Hearts and seal him away for good, so he never comes back. And then they actually have a humanizing moment for him.
Yeah,
that I did not expect.
Through a lot of this story has been a lot of Xehanort is just obsessed with learning. Weirdly enough, like he wants to know what will happen, and he needs to satisfy his curiosity on how things will go. And then at the end, he's just like, we got to do this because I want to save people. I want to get rid of darkness. And the only way that's going to happen is if you get a strong leader like me, who's going to make sure the weak don't corrupt the people with darkness. It's like, oh, okay, so it's a rule by fear and force kind of thing. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like, he went down that path, and it's like, yep, seen that before. Sure, why not? But I like, of course, Sora's like, maybe they do need a strong leader, but it's definitely not you.
Yeah, it's not going to be you. You've proven that you are willing to step on too many people to get there.
Exactly. You kind of killed Kairi. No. That's not cool.
Something that kind of confused me is what happens after this is the appearance of Ericus. And it's cool that he's back, but I don't know if I missed something on why he was there.
I think his spirit was still within Terra. Like his heart kind of hitched a ride with Terra from what I could tell. Because he did come out of Terra. And
yeah,
it was basically,
Terra does glow when he does show up.
Yeah. So I think it was sort of like, he's witnessed this, he's seen what he's done, it's like, okay, you lost. It's over.
It's time for me to step in and just tell you for realsies, you lost this
Yeah,
time.
exactly. You're done. We got a new group.
I was willing to sit back and let you torment my students like 20 years ago or whatever it was that Birth by Sleep took place. That didn't seem like the right time to step in. But here, I got it.
I mean, the easiest thing to do seemed to be to kill Ven, so I just tried to do that. Bad on my part.
I panicked. It seemed like a simple solution for a simple problem.
Yeah, exactly. Not a good choice on my part. My bad.
Retrospect, realize I made a mistake. Sorry, Ven.
Yep, exactly. I kind of failed them, but hey, they still like me, so that's cool. And let's just, it's our time's over. Time for the new generation. Which, yeah, I can always appreciate that message.
Yeah, and I think that's a fine way to end things with their story. I'm really curious. A lot of my thoughts going forward with them in particular will be more involving epilogue and secret movie stuff, so I don't know when we want to jump into that. But I'm real curious moving forward what their plans are with Xehanort and Ericus in particular.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to just be done at that point, because I think it's implied like, yeah, we're both off to the final world. We're done.
Yeah.
So that's how it all goes there, and you get to see their younger forms again, for people who didn't know that, hey, that's them.
Just in case this wasn't clear.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get the ending, and Sora going off to rescue Kairi. She's like, we've been separated for so long. I am not allowing this to happen. I am going to
I finally told her how important she was to me, and it turns out I'm that important to her, and you think I'm just going to let that go?
Exactly. I am going to rescue her, and I'll be back. And that's the only thing that confused me about this ending. And we'll get into that, but I did like the ending scenes and how they had a resolution for a lot of these things. Like, we get Naminé back. I like how, hey, Riku, you didn't get Kairi. Here's Naminé. Like they made a pointed thing of showing him holding her hand.
And think about this: Naminé is part Sora, so is he really just in a relationship with his best friend Sora?
That's also a possibility. Although that might be more like if he ended up within a relationship with Shion. Actually, that's I mean, Shion and Roxas are just kind of them loving themselves. So Sora loving himself.
It was very odd to me. So I love all this stuff, and I understand that this is just weird because we're seeing a lot of characters in one place, and this isn't going to be the norm. But man, that clock tower seemed really crowded.
Yeah, it did.
with Axel, Roxas, Shion, Isa, and then Hayner, Pence, and Olette also find their way up there.
Yeah.
It's like, at some point, this is going to become an actual hazard to have these many kids on top of this very tall building. We should probably consider maybe finding a different meeting place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, we got our own 7 at this point. Although I will say, I love the outfits they gave Axel and Shion.
Man, yeah. Casual Axel, Shion, and Isa was really nice to see. What I didn't realize, though, until looking at it later, what Axel and Isa are wearing are what they wore as kids in Birth by Sleep. So they just kind of aged up their old costumes. But Shion with her cute little black dress.
Oh yeah, I really like that. I was like, man, that's a better outfit than what Kairi got.
And then we get like the world's most crowded beach party when they go to Destiny Island, and Ven is over there playing with I think he's running with like Roxas or something. So it's really weird seeing them like side by side.
Yeah, it's cool to see them, and then you're like, where's Kairi and Sori? Where's Kairi and Sori? And then you look up and you see the two of them put their hands on, and then Sora disappears. I'm like, Did Sora die trying to rescue her? Like, I was really confused by that. Like, what happened to Sora? He obviously rescued Kairi.
So there's a lot of ways this can be taken, and I'm trying to figure out which one I think makes the most sense. There's one in that Sora got Kairi back, but in some sacrificial way, so he's gone, but she is there. And where's Sora will probably be the starting question of the new game. Point 2 is got her back, no problems, but then was called off to another adventure and just has to leave again, and his destiny is to always be leaving her, just waiting, and that's what it meant. I could see that too. But I think it's basically one of those things. That or the third one is just neither of them are back, but they both wish they were, because she's crying and he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, since I was playing this before the game was out, I didn't have access to the epilogue or the secret ending, so it ended there, and I'm like, what is going on?
Man, what an ending that would have been to go.
I know, I'm seeing that, I was like, what does this mean? And I had to wait for them to finally unlock, and then I'd see that. It's like, so I wonder if him disappearing is him getting transported into the location for the secret ending. Or that sort of thing. I don't know, but
very possible.
It's still really interesting to see where they go from there. And I mean, it was a strange feeling, but I also felt very satisfied by it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, everything that happened, you could have told me, like, you could have read me, like, the direction of what happens in that last scene and told me that was someone's fanfic from, like, 2009, and I would have been like, yeah, probably. But seeing it happen is a very different thing, and it's just very satisfying to kind of watch all of these characters that we've seen separately, like, kind of grow so much, and then seeing them all together in one spot was just a really good, like, heartfelt moment for me that, like, honestly got me kind of emotional, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Despite it being cheesy and somewhat predictable as hell, I was still very like, it's so good to see all these friends just get to be together.
Exactly. Happy times. Oh, that's good.
Shion and Namine are grabbing shells on the beach. These are two characters I never thought would actually meet and interact in any meaningful way, and it's nice to just see them chill.
Yeah, it's nice. And the thing is, you know, none of these resolutions are surprising in any way. Of course they're going to rescue Aqua. Of course they're going to beat Master Xehanort. Of course they're going to get a lot of these back. You didn't know for sure, but you wanted to... That's the idea. But it's still gratifying to see it actually resolved in that way.
I mean, we talked so much about how all of these characters have to have some sort of heinous tragedy to have gotten them on the Kingdom Hearts cast. So it's just really, really just satisfying to see them get to be happy, even if you know, like, another game's probably around the corner somewhere and they're all going to be sad again soon. But it's really nice just to know that everybody who's been sleeping for 10 years with a broken heart, literally, or trapped in a realm of darkness, or unsure about whether or not they even deserve to exist, getting to hang out on a beach.
Yes.
That's just really good for the soul.
I was possessed by the guy trying to kill everybody for 10 years, so...
Yeah. I've gotten to see firsthand all of the terrible things Master Xehanort has done with my body.
That I indirectly caused because I fell to darkness because of him.
My fingerprints are all over the terrible experiments he did on hearts. That's something Terra gets to live with.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's kind of crazy. And, I mean, speaking of those experiments, you always hear about him experimenting on the heart, but you never really got to see the results of that. Like, how did he do these experiments? Well, apparently he kidnapped children.
Yeah, turns out it's lots of kids around Radiant Garden. Don't need them no more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Thought one Ansem the Wise.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so that's a little terrifying that they were basically kidnapping children, or that's like. I mean, I'm thinking of you guys' own stuff. It's like, they're orphans. Nobody wanted them in the first place.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of, wow, okay, I did not think about them going into that. But as the secret reports show, one of the people that was experimented on, and likely the girl that they've been talking about this entire time, is Ava from that cover.
One of the foretellers in the previous Master of Masters Apprentices.
Yeah, the Fox Girl. So let's dive into this epilogue. Now, I already gave my own thoughts on it, and we talked about it through Twitter DMs because like when you would talk about it on Twitter, like you wanted to talk about something. It's like I'm there for that because I completely understand.
Yeah, you've had to deal with this even longer since you got the game pre-release, but man, honesty time. Normally, I am not a person who will, let's say, physically or verbally react to a video game or show or something when I am experiencing it by myself. It's one of those things where it's not like I'm not enjoying it, it's just I internalize a lot of that. That's just kind of who I am. But man, when this epilogue started and we hear Xigbar's voice, and I recognized it immediately. And then the reveal of, like, is that you, Luxu? Like, I stood up from my couch, and I was like, no way! And just, like, and all... That is... I know I've talked so many things like, that's probably my favorite moment. That literally... Like, I have watched the epilogue movie, like, 8 times just for that moment, because the music swells, everything, like... is just such a perfect climax for haven't heard that name in a long time. Just like there's so much to that sentence and so much to all that stuff that just because the more I think about it, the more excited I get, because Xigbar has always been one of my favorite dudes, but he has always had like relatively minor to even almost non-existent plot relevance. So him kind of getting this awesome reveal of I've existed longer than all of the main characters, is such a good thing. And then to go back even further than that, every time you fight him and beat him, the dying complaint is always, if I had a Keyblade, this would have been different. And everyone's always like, yeah, whatever, you're a bad guy, you'll never get one. And in this game, like, he kind of goes like, no, I was worthy, trust me, I know. With the reveal of like, oh, you're Luxu. You kind of started Keyblades being handed down. Like, yeah, you're, other than the Master of Masters, kind of the original Keyblade guy. So yes, you're probably right. Things probably would have been different if you got to use the weapon you started.
Why did I follow along in the plan? Because I wanted a Keyblade.
Yeah. Why else would I listen to what this old man's nonsense?
Yeah.
Because my job was to follow the guy who would reenact the Keyblade War, and that's this dude. None of you were gonna do it. Otherwise, I'd go with you.
Yeah, and he finally did it. Somebody finally did it. I finally got to do this mission that I got sent on for how long and had to live how many lives, which is interesting in and of itself that he's this old and knows this much, because wow, what an interesting concept. And I love Xigbar's just attitude and all. Like, it was always interesting in Kingdom Hearts 2, and then have it expanded with how he works with Master Xehanort as Braig in that one. Oh, it's so perfect. And
Well, and not just that, but like on top of that, like the secret reports, like if you read them and where he's like talking about, he's like, all right, now my job is to wait. It doesn't matter how many bodies I go through. It can take years, decades, centuries, millennia. All I do is wait for the next Keyblade War. And I'm just like, man, what a thing for a character to say. And then that it gets to be Xigbar, who's always been this kind of quirky, weird guy. And to me, that just kind of like reinforces no, he doesn't care anymore. Like he's like 1,000 years old. He's just gonna say whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's just like as if, and like just go about his own attitude.
He doesn't care about presenting himself. He doesn't care about like the hoity-toity, like, you know, like here's what the organization's all about. He's like, whatever, I'm just here doing my job because my job is to help this guy.
Yeah, exactly. You can do whatever you want to be. I don't care. it literally does not affect me. I might get beaten. There's all this aspects, but I'll do what you say.
My job is just to make sure I watch this all go down
and protect this box. Which they don't answer that question at all. And
nope.
I do love that they have Maleficent and Pete there watching. Like, she finally discovers the box, so I'm wondering where that thread is going to go.
But she's just too late. Already found it.
And just the concept, like, oh, okay, so the foretellers, like, we thought these were kind of good guys that were just kind of manipulated or just, like, miscommunication. Like, what was the Master of Master Steel? Because that was always my question. It's like, he seems to have specifically set this all up so his pupils would fail in every aspect, but he's such a cavalier and likable guy that I'm like...
So I have some crazy theories in mind.
Oh, boy.
None of them really talk about too much in the secret movie, so I can just jump into them here. So I think one thing, so back cover, a lot of it was about them trying to figure out who the traitor was in their group. And I think with this epilogue, it becomes clear that the traitor was Ava, or Ava, however you say her name. Because she, in the phone game, she goes to confront Luxu about finding the Master of Masters after he disappears. And I don't think we're made privy to what it is, but Luxu tells her what his job is, and the next thing we see is her fighting in the Keyblade War.
Oh.
I think she came to talk to Luxu, and Luxu's like, yeah, I gotta go hand this Keyblade off and wait for the Keyblade War to happen. The Master of Masters wants it to happen. And she's like, well, we gotta stop that because people are gonna die, turning her the traitor of the group because she is the only one who is not going to go along with the plan. But her being there caused so much suspicion that it let the Keyblade War happen. So it's this kind of backwards, she's the traitor because she's going to be the only one trying to stop this bad thing we're doing, but I'm making all of you think we're good.
That is brilliant. I can totally see that being the reasoning behind it, especially because she has that scene where it's like telling the Keyblades wielders to go out and, you know, this is going to happen, but we need to stick together and keep the light. And she's obviously the good guy in all of this. She never does anything wrong in back cover, while the others are just tearing themselves apart. And
and I think she is presented as the innocent one, and among a group of villains, that would be your traitor.
Yeah, that is brilliant. I love that. I want that to be the case, and there is so much possibility there. Although it's still interesting that, you know, they're setting up like Ericus is like, ooh, I have a new game to show you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering what Ericus and Xehanort's role will be going forward, because I don't know if it's just supposed to be a direct, like, it could be just a simple metaphor for us as the audience, and no more just going, hey, check out this cool game I've got for you. It's going to have 7 villains, and just wait till you see the number of heroes you get to be, or something. But, like, or is Ericus actually some sort of all-knowing god figure who is just like, is this going to be Lost, where it's just 2 ageless figures playing games with each other and using the lives of other people to play them?
Oh my gosh, that'd be something.
Like, it's like, there's so many ways this could go, and Nomura's crazy enough that he could do all of them and find a way to make it make sense.
Exactly.
And I'm so excited, and I just want to know. And that's why, if there's any problems I have with the Kingdom Hearts 3 story, they're all way overshadowed by how excited the way it leaves leaves.
This next arc looks amazing because we have the oldest Keyblade masters available.
Yeah, with these new dudes with all this new tech and years of Keyblade school going.
Yeah,
down.
exactly. These guys know exactly what's going on, and we're just a bunch of, like, we got like maybe 2 masters among us. Three masters if we got Riku, Mickey, and Aqua. The rest of us are untrained, like, we're pretty good, Sora especially.
We've done the best with what we've got.
But these guys are the chosen ones, and just imagine what the Master of Masters is capable of, because usually if a villain has that much of a cavalier attitude, and he's even more cavalier than Lushu, so that is an excellent epilogue.
Yeah, the epilogue for me is definitely like if I hadn't seen that at the end of my first playthrough, I don't think I would have been disappointed, but the level of excitement I have is nowhere near what it would have been.
Yeah, I was sort of left like, wow, it's just me just sitting there. I actually booted up the game after that. Like, I had beaten it, and I was, could start writing the review at that point, but I was like, I need some time to digest this, and started just
yeah, I gotta try and understand everything I just saw.
Yeah, exactly. How do I feel about this? And just played more of the game, and got back to the core of it, and seeing what I wanted to go with, and all that fun stuff. And seeing the epilogue afterwards, just like, wow. And we one of the things we also talked about with in our previous conversation was, man, we have so many characters now. How do we balance all of them? And
that's how you get Kingdom Hearts games, Birth by Sleep.
Yep, exactly. And that's the cool thing, is that with all these characters available, I think we're going to get an Avengers-like situation where, hey, here's what Roxas, Axel, and Xion are up to in their game, and they're dealing with this villain, or maybe they meet up with this foreteller and they have to interact with them as they're setting up the plan for the Master of Masters because of his next prophecy, or whatever's going on.
I love that idea.
And then here's what Aqua, Terra, and Ven are up to as they're taking on this other foreteller. So, and it's all set up to get to this actual confrontation with the Master of Masters as he finally appears in Kingdom Hearts 4, or something like that.
No, I'm 100% on board. I like that idea quite a bit.
And then, whenever you get a numbered game, it's an Avengers movie. That's when you all come together.
That's when we need the whole crew for this one.
Exactly. So there is so much you can do with that. And
that's not even the end.
No, it's not. We got the secret ending. And wow.
So the secret ending is beautiful, but does not exactly expand on any sort of like, well, what's this plot mean? Like, there are some things you might be able to pull from it, but man, it is a weird one, and leaves me scratching my head, but still also very excited.
Yeah, the secret ending is, like, none of the secret endings we've gotten in the past have really explained anything. Like, the first one was like, okay, here's two guys fighting on the side of a building. It looks cool. Have no idea what's going on. And the next one is like, here's a fight between these armored guys and this old dude, and it's like they're just getting the crap kicked out of them. Cool fight. I have no idea what's going on or whatever any of it means.
What is happening?
And same sort of thing with this secret ending, except we actually see Sora and Riku waking up in the middle of Tokyo, specifically Shibuya, which I thought, oh, okay, they're in the real world. That's a thing. That's possible. We were just in the Caribbean in this game, so whatever.
Yeah, hey, we've represented actual cities in this place before.
Yeah, that makes sense. But then you had the brilliant idea that I never even considered. What if this is The World Ends With You?
To be entirely fair, that was not a wholly original idea. I definitely had the same line of thought you did, then was like looking at message boards, and someone's like, well, if you see what the way that this building is shaped and the way it's laid out, it's exactly The World Ends With You, Shibuya specifically. And that got me so much more excited, because, little known fact, The World Ends With You is probably my favorite DS game.
Same here, man. Same here. That is absolutely my favorite DS game. So if
getting to go back to that world in particular is like really excites me, which makes me think that the actual like the kind of hidden meaning of the secret ending, other than I'm sure plot stuff that'll make sense a decade from now, is the idea that, does this mean that they're embracing the concept of going to Square worlds, like, specifically?
Yeah.
Since all we've really gotten are Disney worlds.
Yeah, because, and that's the thing, all the Final Fantasy characters we've met up to this point have been denizens of the original worlds, like Twilight Town or Radiant Garden, but we never got the original world for The World Ends With You cast in Dream Drop Distance. So it's entirely possible that they do have their world that is Shibuya.
Well, I feel like they're like, yeah, because Neko and them are in Traverse Town, which is the place where, at least it seems like, where you go when your world gets destroyed. So theoretically, their world existed at some point, and they were just sent there when it got consumed by darkness. And when Sora reawakened everything, or closed the door to Kingdom Hearts or whatever the hell the ending was, you know, theoretically, those old worlds would have been restored.
Wouldn't it be amazing if this served as a stealth sequel to The World Ends With You? Because, you know...
Do it, Nomura! I'll take it!
All of a sudden, we get a crossover between Kingdom Hearts and The World Ends With You. Like, The World Ends With You 2 has, like, this small scene when you actually interact with Sora and whatnot. Or some sort of side mission like that. Because they're totally... Like, with the Switch port, they have that extra ending. Like, they're obviously setting up something new going on with that. So both of these games
there's
are getting,
some future for this franchise.
There are so many possibilities there, and boy, does that make me excited, because if we can get into other Square Enix worlds, like maybe not necessarily like Final Fantasy worlds, but Bravely Default,
give me a Nier Automata.
Nier Automata, you could, oh man, imagine if
there's already so many built-in things with hearts and darkness in that would be so easy to go with.
Imagine Yoko Taro's hand in this. Oh man. That'd be so good.
Let's get, if they haven't met already, let's put him and Nomura in a room together and just ask them to write the next Kingdom Hearts game.
Perfect. I want it.
But on top of that, on top of the Shibuya stuff, we also get to see Yozora, or whatever his name was, from Verum Rex, hanging out on a building in this world, meaning that somehow he is also here.
Yeah.
Which is... What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. They're always talking about, well, it kind of looks like Riku, right? Which I always thought was like, well, that's a cute joke about, you know, how these protagonists kind of look alike. And
but then it's like, no, he's actually in this universe, and he still kind of looks like Riku specifically.
Except he has the two different eye things going on, like eye color. And, like, what is up with that? And why is he here?
So it's either, Nomura's a genius, and he put a commercial for his own next game with a character going, I can't stop playing this game, I love it, it's my favorite, with a beloved childhood voice, you know. So, you know, all he did was manipulate us with the world's most brilliant marketing campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I gotta play Verum Rex, because I gotta see what the connection is to Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. And I need to see what my friend Rex, who I've heard his voice and loved him since I was a child, he loves this game, so it must be great.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, wouldn't that be something if instead of like needing to play side Kingdom Hearts games, instead it's just other Square Enix games to learn more about the story of Kingdom Hearts. You gotta play Verum Rex and you gotta play The World Ends With You in order to figure out what's happening next with Kingdom Hearts.
Man, when I played Verum Rex in Kingdom Hearts, I wasn't very impressed. I hope it's a better game.
Well, the cutscenes were amazing, so maybe it'll be more like
that. The cutscenes did look beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, apparently people have done some digging in that, in the footage of that fake commercial / trailer or whatever, and they are in Shibuya in that trailer.
Oh,
like
man.
they're on location, so they are in whatever lore their universe is going off of. They are in the same Shibuya as Sora and Riku end up, which is, by all accounts, looking like the same Shibuya from The World Ends With You. So maybe this is just... And a lot of people have said there's a lot of similarities in that fake trailer with how the Versus 13 trailer was those many years ago. So people are saying, like, I'm wondering if this is going to be some big culmination of, is Nomura going to finally put together The World Ends With You, Kingdom Hearts, and for Final Fantasy Versus 13 all in just one big mega game that he's like, F it, here I am, here's everything I do.
I'm kind of down for it. Why not?
Me too.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know what's happening. I don't care. Just show me what's happening next.
We spent like the first hour of this gushing about how much I love the Disney stuff in these games. Real talk, Tetsuya Nomura, if you make your next game and you go, there's not going to be a hint of Disney in this, it's all original crazy stuff from my brain, I am there day one.
Yep.
Despite being a lifelong diehard Disney fan, you could divorce this from that. I am still interested.
That is what the Verum Rex spin-off is all about. It's Kingdom Hearts without the Disney bits in it.
Man, and I won't lie, I want to know what that is. I gotta see it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. The question is this a tease for Kingdom Hearts 4? Is it a tease for a spin-off game, sort of like how Kingdom Hearts 2 was actually teasing Birth by Sleep? Or is it DLC?
Yeah, we live in an age now where this game could get updated, and we could just get, hey, guess what? This April, you're traveling to Shibuya from the world that never was, and for some reason, Verum Rex is there, and he's heartless, and you got to stop him.
Yeah, there's your
DLC.
There's your super boss.
$6.99
is Verum Rex or Yozora.
Yeah, or Yozora. Yeah, I keep calling him Verum
I know,
Rex.
I do too.
His name is Yozora, but yes.
I want it.
But yeah, it could be any of those, and that's what makes this so exciting and weird. And what a time to be alive. We don't know, and it's been a long time since I've not known the future of Kingdom Hearts to this extent.
Not since 2, really.
They could do anything from here, and like, on the one hand, they can't surprise me, and on the other hand, I know that's exactly what they're gonna do. So like, they could do anything from here.
Oh gosh, the possibilities, and that's not even the end of it. The end of it is showing the Master of Masters in Shibuya forming that little heart with his hand over the moon, which so freaking
to be
perfect.
fair, all we see is someone in a coat. It could be anyone. It's presumably the Master of Masters, but it could be Ava. Like, that could be her showing up that she exists, because it looks like a very thin, kind of feminine frame. It could be anything.
I guess so. I mean, that's the thing. We got the mystery of Ava. We got the mystery of the 9 through 12 members of Organization 13. We got Xigbar.
Could be Larxene. Who knows?
We got the box. Yeah, exactly. We got the box. We got the foretellers. We got so much stuff. We don't know what's going on. And apparently Saïx knows the mystery because he's the one talking about it. So, that's the crazy thing. That's what I love about this series, is that it's insane, but it's a fun kind of insane.
It's such a crazy ride to be on, and it's like, it's so easy to make fun of it and to joke, and it's just like, it's just all goofy darkness and haha, and Mickey is there. Like, but there's so many crazy twists to this, and it's not like I am enjoying it because it's so dumb, but it gets so dumb and I love it.
Exactly.
Like, it's not it's so bad it's good. It's so crazy it's good, and it's all 100% sincere, and I think that's how it works. Is at no point does someone like look at the camera and wink and go, I know, it's dumb, but they will laugh and say, that's a lot to keep track of, and it's fun because it is, but you also want to.
Yeah, or them going through Twilight Town being, man, it feels like it's been so long since we've been here. No, it hasn't.
Yeah, but yeah, in their universe, it's been maybe a few months, but to us, it's been like 15 years. So...
Oh God, and that's a great thing. And I during my review, I did say that I thought this was the most accessible Kingdom Hearts story since the original. Do you agree with that, or am I crazy?
Okay, so it's tough. It's tough for me because I've been keeping track with everything, and I've been involved in this lore since kind of day one. So it's tough for me to go like, nah, anyone could jump into this and go. That said, I do think that the if you've got the time for it, they have those memory archive things in the main menu where it's basically just, hey, we're going to tell you about all these other games real quick in like 5-minute chunks.
Here's the really important
and I think
parts.
and I think those do a good enough job at catching you up. And on top of that, anytime a concept is brought up, normally a character will voice in like, isn't that when we did this, or when you did that, or when this happened to that character? So there's like just a quick one line of like, hey, they're gonna mention Castle Oblivion, and when you hear that, it doesn't make sense, but then someone goes, isn't that the one where you walked up and you forgot everything?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, oh, okay, that's what happened.
Cool. That's what happened. Or, you got the journal, which catches you up on all these terms and whatnot, which is, good to know.
But then on top of that, and if you're listening to this, you're already clearly very into Kingdom Hearts and have made it this far, so this message isn't for you. But honestly, I also think that Kingdom Hearts is one of those things that you don't need to know what everyone's talking about to have fun with it. Like, there can be things where it's just someone's going to say, but we have to rescue Xion, and you go, who's that? And another character goes, I don't know either, and that's fine. You can still have fun. Like, part of this is just enjoying the crazy turns it takes and going, all right, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah. Like Avengers, it's kind of an event to see all these characters come together and see what happens next and how they go about it. And, I know plenty of people who saw Infinity War who did not see every Marvel movie before that, and they can see how they might be confused at points, but they're still, it's still a fun ride, and that's what I feel 3 does.
Yeah, and I also think 3 does a very good job of putting Sora in the middle of it. So if you didn't play those games where you didn't play as Sora, you still have his perspective of, but what are you talking about? Who is this? Because he doesn't know either most of the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, Sora isn't always privy to information. Like, he forgets some of the villains he fought because of the events of those games. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. So, overall, worth the wait?
I would say so. I laughed. I cried. I already want to platinum it, and I want to say about 60-ish% on that. And am already absolutely ready that if they announce tomorrow a patch for critical mode or something, I'd start over and try again. Like I loved this game, and like, I'm not gonna say it's perfect or didn't have moments that I didn't go, oh come on, you couldn't have designed it like this. I definitely loved it and would give it 2 big old thumbs up and highly recommend it.
Yeah, I gave it the ultra rare, mind blowing rating for us. It's like only 2 other games we've given it to up to this point, but we're also very much subjective. I totally expect somebody like to play this and like, this is stupid, and I hate this. Fine, that's perfectly fine. But for me, this exceeded my expectations because I was like going into this like, please don't be a Final Fantasy 15 situation where it's just okay. And feels half
I went in very ready to be disappointed, which usually signs me up to be disappointed. And I loved this game. It's one of those things where it's tough for me to say this because I am in what I'd like to call the honeymoon phase of just like, oh, I love everything about it. But this is very, very likely my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. And it's just because it has so much emotional payoff to stuff that's been building for a decade. And even if you want to say it's like they take the simple way out and everyone kind of gets the resolution they were looking for, I still think they just make it work so well just with how it's presented and how emotional the journey is to get there. Even if the beats are pretty easy to predict, it's still just seeing them happen is just breathtaking because it looks amazing. Everyone's acting is really on point. The build up and pacing was all good. Like they just do it right in so many different directions that it's tough for me to not think that I will love this game years removed from it.
Yeah, it's same here. The gameplay is brilliant and so much fun and varied, combining the best elements of past games. The storyline is satisfying and fun to get into with some genuinely great moments throughout. And just the production value is mind-blowing with some of this. I saw a comparison of comparing the Frozen Let It Go scene with the actual movie, and it's pretty spot on. Like, there's differences, of course, but it's right there. So it's an impressive piece of work, and who knows how long it'll be until we have to wait for the next Kingdom Hearts game. Even if it's just a spin-off, I am there. Because it's time to start building up this new arc.
What has me also excited is we live in an age now where all the consoles are like relatively equally powerful, and it's that or phones. Like their only options are 2 venues I have to play games.
Exactly.
So there's no way they can make one that I can't play anymore unless they're like, this is an Xbox One exclusive or Mac exclusive Kingdom Hearts game.
Exactly. I have a PS4, I have a Switch, I have a PC, I have a phone. I can experience the next part. Please don't be phone because I actually want to experience the story.
Yeah, I would obviously, honestly prefer it not be a phone game, but if that's the route it goes, I know that's still something I am able to access, which is, let's say, better than a PSP or whatever the Samsung phone was that Coded came out specifically in Japan.
I no longer have to buy systems in order to enjoy this game, other than the PlayStation 5, let's be honest.
A good turn. Yeah.
Alright, well, I think that finally covers it for our Kingdom Hearts 3 discussion. A whopping 2.5 hours.
Woo!
So...
Yeah, when we started this, you're like, this will probably be a while. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, it'll be like maybe an hour.
Nope, there's so much to talk about. We didn't even touch the Classic Kingdom at all.
Hey, if you want to be honest, I actually haven't touched the Classic Kingdom. That's something I've been putting off. So I hope those games are at least kind of fun. I haven't touched a single one of them
They're
yet.
Okay. I mean, not my...
Oh, great! Perfect!
Not the best. I'm a little, like... Probably shouldn't marathon them. Like I do maybe 3 or 5 at a time. But it's worth doing because, one, it's how you get you have to do them in order to get that platinum. But also, if you play every single of those games, you get an exclusive Keyblade.
Oh!
And I will admit, its shot locks are a lot of fun because it has a lot of references to Timeless River.
Oh no! Okay, well, yeah, that's. hey, if you're curious what I'm going to be doing immediately after this recording.
Yep, have fun hunting those down and playing through those. They're not bad, and like you don't have to get a great score. You just have to play them. So play it, die quick, move on.
I know. There's a trophy. There's 2 trophies. There's one for getting a new score and one for getting a new high score in all of them. So hopefully that's not too terrible. But I'm sure it's going to be just enough to get me yelling at my TV.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you can just suck and die and then move on to the next one, and you'll get through it quick. You don't have to try your hardest.
At least there's that.
Yeah. All right, now I think that covers it for our Kingdom Hearts 3 discussion. Needed to make sure we got to that 2.5 hour mark.
No, we had to mention that. And Lucky Emblems are cool. We didn't really talk about those at all, but that's a great collectible to make you want to explore a really well-crafted and hand-designed world.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to find, and sometimes I was cursing how big some of these worlds were trying to find all of them.
Oh, I bet.
So, that was fun. Speaking of, check out our guides for, the Ultimate Keyblade, and the Hidden Mickeys and all that fun stuff. Alright. Well, thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. Grant, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at MasterWuggles, or twitch.tv/MasterWGS, or on YouTube on TFS Gaming.
Very cool. Always fun content. And I believe, I know Lanny and Scott are playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. It's been fun seeing their reactions to some of this stuff.
Yeah, I believe in the last stream they just finished the Frozen world, so that's where they're at now. But that's just starting to go live on YouTube, so you can catch that from the beginning if you
Yeah,
want.
Will you be joining them, or is that all them?
The way we're having it done is this is primarily Lanny's playthrough, since he will not have time to play it on his own time. So he's the only one who will be at the controls, and the people on the couch with him. Kaiser will almost always be there because he wants to experience it, and this is the only way he'll have time as well. The rest of us are kind of dipping in and out on days where it's more or less convenient for us, just so we can have someone else there with them, just kind of providing some commentary and like, oh, that's the direction you want to go, huh? Okay.
Sure, that's what you think is going to happen. All right.
Sure, yeah, no, I bet that's exactly how this world's going to tie
Oh,
up.
yeah, exactly.
And, doing everything I can to not accidentally spoil stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's the hard part.
Which is why I wasn't on the first one, because I was only halfway through the game, and I was like, there's no way I'll be able to sit and not talk about all this stuff.
Exactly. It's like, oh, yeah, that Zigbar scene.
just you wait and find out why important this is. Like, stuff like that ruins the experience, that kind of thing.
Plus, I don't feel like you have the chance to tear up like we did if you're streaming it like them or with them.
Yeah, that's definitely why me and Kieran said we were playing it on our own time, because we can't let people see how much this will make us cry.
I get you. Oh boy. And of course, be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Kingdom Hearts and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye.
See ya.